Well, look, the only way that KD can claim Draymond is wrong or 100% false, as he did in the tweet, is because Draymond probably exaggerated. When Draymond threw in 7 times as much, that's probably an exaggeration. All right, and that leaves the door open for KD to say, oh, that's 100% false. KD's smart. KD was in those games. KD knows, yes, they were double teaming Steph much more than double teaming KD. And he benefited from, doesn't take anything away from him, but he benefited from it. And look, scouts and coaches throughout the league, executives as well, will tell you that when teams planned for Golden State, even when KD was there, they planned first and foremost for Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry with his shooting range spaces the floor so much that disrupts your defense more than KD, who doesn't shoot as nearly as many threes as Steph, as great as he is in the mid-range. And so it was happening. And if KD wants to dispute it, period, then all you got to do is listen to Tyronn Lue, who was coaching the Cavaliers teams at those times. In February, here's what Ty Lue said about the 2017-2018 finals. We blitzed him, Steph, with Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant on the floor. That's how dangerous I think he is. So this is not a revelation. You watch the games, you know the sport. Draymond wasn't lying. He may have exaggerated a bit, but Draymond was telling the truth, Twan. They did double team Steph more because most teams that played them did the same thing.
Well, this is a tricky thing, and Draymond's right and KD's right. But I think Draymond's exaggerating. I do agree with you on that, Chris, as far as the double team. When you guarded that team, the one thing that made that team special is that you couldn't double team them because of the spacing and then because of their three-point shooting ability. Even at that time, Draymond was a better three-point shooter. He can knock down threes. Andre Iguodala was a part of that team. Barbosa. They had several different guys that can make shots, so they were a very difficult team to double team. But one thing you got to understand, when Steph was in more pick and rolls than KD, so obviously it looks like Steph is getting double teamed more because he's the one handling the ball. He's the one to pick and roll. And like Ty Lue said, they're blitzing the pick and roll. A blitz is not necessarily a trap. It's just it's a situation where you're trying to get the ball out of Steph's hands. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, yeah, it looks like Steph Curry is getting trapped. You'll take your chances. You try to take your chances with KD going one-on-one because you have Steph and Klay and those great three-point shooters. You can't double KD in that moment. So they all benefited from each other's skill set. There was no one guy getting double teamed more than the other. One guy had more advantage than the other. I just think Steph is in pick and rolls 90% of the time. You have to guard them pick and rolls in a very delicate way because of his three-point shooting ability. And teams usually blitzed it and tried to get the ball out of his hands. So that's how that went. One thing Draymond, this is probably the reason why KD's not there. I think KD feels like it was a lack of respect for what he brought to that team, and that's why he's probably in Brooklyn right now. Just judging from these little small comments that you get all of a sudden now.
See, I want to build off that.
Good point.
Can we just decide as a universe to let the KD used to play for Golden State thing go? And you know what? I'm going to look in the mirror. You got to start with the man in the mirror. I promise I'll never pitch it at the 5:30 meeting. I'll never put it in the Google Doc again. It's the media sometimes is like eating its tail here because a part of the media is making fun of the other media. Like, hey, did you know that Kyrie and KD used to play for the teams that are in the finals? Like they're above the media. But KD feeds into this. And we just all need to move on. And KD specifically, I Googled, Nick, KD responds to, okay? And then I just pulled up what the headlines were. Kevin Durant responds to Draymond Green. Kevin Durant responds to multiple trash-talking fans. Here's a fun one. Kevin Durant responds to Nick Wright. Kevin Durant responds to James Worthy. Here's why Kevin Durant is tweeting at Scottie Pippen. Kevin Durant responds to tweet comparing his impact to blah, 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 blah,
It's
blah.
the greatest.
Gosh almighty. Yeah. It's 4 years ago. We got to just move on from this. Stop, either hire a publicist or something else. I'm done.
Nope.
Oh, hashtag new
Listen,
media.
the best KD tweet yesterday was not one we put on the screen. The best KD tweet yesterday was, and I'm going to tell you because I just pulled it up, was Kevin Durant tweeting to a guy named A. Bynum and BK9419. Yes. Y'all let Twitter trolls get y'all riled up and got y'all insecure. He goes on from there. But then someone asks BK9419, why did he at you in this? You weren't even in the conversation. To which KD responds, y'all boys been mad since 2017, my G, meaning Kevin Durant has somewhere in his brain old anonymous Twitter folks who have been at him and just added that guy to the conversation. He wasn't even tweeting about it. To which I say, it's so amazing, good. But I've come around almost entirely on Durant. Durant might be one of my 3 favorite active basketball players right now because he is just incredibly transparent. KD, he goes on Letterman. He's like, you know what? You know what I really enjoy other than playing basketball? Smoking weed and playing video games. That's who I am. And when I'm not playing video games, I enjoy getting on the old social media. It's like, hey, Kevin Durant, young, rich, ostensibly single, smoke some weed, shoot some hoops, play some video games, and mess around on social media. I love it. And he's not hiding from it. He's like, you know what? Every time someone mentions my name, I'm responding. I don't care if it's Draymond Green, James Worthy, or JK9419, who had some heat for me 2 years ago, and I remember. It's great. I think it's great. He's come after me. I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. I love it. I'm a KD guy now. I've decided.
I agree. I've said for years, because people have called KD sensitive, and okay, he probably is. Yeah. But if he can go at people like this and look at all the negative things that they're saying about him and be on social media and not let that stuff impact his game negatively, then more power to him. He enjoys it and it's not hurting his game. A lot of guys trying, you know this, they go to New York, they can't read the back page. They can't read the Post and the Daily News and the tabloids and the back page headlines.
KD's getting it piped into his veins.
And impacts their game.
24/7.
KD likes
it's amazing.
That's a strength. That's a strength. Yeah.
I love it.
It is amazing.
Go ahead,
I love it, man. Hey, I love it. One thing, if you're a guy like KD and you can talk it and you can bag it up, go ahead and do it. I'm with Nick, though. God, he had to have his phone in his hand 24/7. Do you guys think he's got 2 phones or 3 phones? How many phones do you think he has?
Not enough. Not enough. He needs more. And Wiles, I reject
the question is how many Twitter
We are going to
accounts.
talk about this forever.
How many Twitter
No,
accounts?
he's off that now.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.